Eyup cock, welcome back to the channel. We're going to go over a championship review from this weekend's games. We'll quickly touch on Preston Blackburn first because it was Friday night, we're ages ago now. And there weren't a great deal to say apart from the fact that Blackburn have once again defied odds, I guess you could say. I went for a draw in this because I didn't think that Blackburn would get anything. That's the logic that I've got to go for with these boys anymore. You think they'll beat Derby at home, they'll lose. Oh, they're coming away to Leicester and Southampton and Preston and them boys, they've got to lose or drop points here. Win. Proper pulled away from it and all. 6 points daylight between them and Sheff Utd. God, it is bleak for Norwich, innit? Oh my God. They are one of the most informed sides in division now. I think Ismail's a very good manager. I will say that every chance I get opportunity to say it. I will let you all know that Ismail's a very good manager, especially when an underdog and a side that hasn't got loads of budget or loads of expectation. That is Ismail's bread and butter, baby, and he's a very good manager because of it. Preston, I do think this is a really good chance for a Preston or a Hull or a Stoke, Millwall, one of them type of sides to have a proper good go at it. But I do think that Preston have to be at it really all the time. I don't think Preston could turn up, play crap and win like a Sheff Utd or a Wrexham or an Ipswich or Coventry. Someone with that calibre of player. I think Preston have got to turn up and be on it to get a win. And maybe that'll hinder them across a full season, but what a win that is for Blackburn. Friday night done, we'll get on to Saturdays, because there's some big games this weekend and some big scores. This first, Bristol City 3, Swansea 0. I can't say I'm that surprised, honestly. I know I went for a draw, so what am I on about? But I think just because Swansea had sacked Sheehan, like a little bit of a bounce, maybe a little bit more freedom, players going to try and play and impress new man. Like you'd think, maybe that side of things that I thought Swansea would turn up a little bit. But they are shit, and that is ultimately why he's been sacked in first place. Bristol City are a good side, they've got a good manager. Struber, I do think, has just got Bristol City coached better than 90% of the division anyway. I do think tactically they are one of the best sides, Bristol City, and fourth does not flatter them at all. I think they deserve to be there. Swansea are looking straight down barrel at a relegation battle. Obviously Sheff Utd with a win that we'll come and touch on in a bit means that they're now only 4 points off bottom three. There are a clump of these type of sides here, like Blackburn down, that might be your proper relegation threatened sides at the minute. But Swansea is showing minimal to no signs of life, and I really don't know what I'd even recommend at this point. Unless I've missed something, I don't think they've got a new manager in yet. I do think they're just currently riding with interim. I don't think it'd take that much to turn this side around, but when you look at it, it's art, isn't it? And they're not showing anything at the minute, Swansea. They're really poor in every area of pitch. And one of the big differences, Bristol City 25 goals so far, Swansea 15. They're one of the worst sides going forward in league. And that's by spending, what did they drop on Ida now? Like 6 million quid, something like that, something ridiculous. And up front is definitely a big area of weakness for him. And when I was seeing all these graphs that show stats and like where teams are in relation to others, and I've referenced this before, you want to be next to Coventry for anything. And Swansea are the exact polar opposite in every regard. They are crap at everything, Swansea. And when your best player, by some margin, from stats point of view, is your keeper, and you're still losing all the time, this is giving Rotherham vibes when they went down with like 8 points. This is really poor from Swansea. They need a new man to come in quick. Not to take anything away from Bristol City, though, because that is a really good win. Charlton 1, Southampton 5, and it was 5-0 in 43rd minute. I don't know. I really don't know. 4.6 expected goals without a penalty as well. Like, so some of these guys, I've really been a big fan of Armstrong for ages. And again, it's another one that I've really tried to ram home at any point that I can, that I love this bloke. And he's everything that I've wanted a striker at any level. Even though he's little, he can do everything. He's such a good forward. As has been playing really good, to be fair. He took some of them finishes as well. They were just better side, obviously start to finish. In second half, once you come out and you're 5-1 up, it's going to be a little bit more an even game. Just shut up shop, like stick 10 behind ball, see it out, because you don't need to go and put 10 past them, do you? But this is not... I didn't think I'd see a result like this for Charlton all season. We how they started. Regardless of the fact that before season started, I thought they'd finish like, I think I had them 19, something like that, like staying up marginally in that sort of climb. But I didn't think even then that they'd get slapped about once, just because of Nathan Jones and what he is and the defensive side of things and what they can be, Charlton. But Southampton have been playing like this. I'm going to say, even with Will Still, Southampton playing like this, maybe not to this extent where you're expected to score 5 goals anyway, but they were better side in a lot of the games anyway. And a lot of the stats, the underlying ones, point towards Southampton, Birmingham and Ipswich. They should have more points than they've actually got. They were just getting absolutely schooled. It were boys against men. Like Armstrong were taking these 3 for a walk. He had them all on leads. He just drop in deep and then you get a third man run from this Yander fella. I don't even recognise this bloke, but he looked quite good for that finish. Like Zaza getting behind, Fellows and Manning obviously like to bomb for it anyway. It's a really good side personnel-wise, and you expect with these results from Southampton that haven't been coming so far. But across a full season, mate, like I really do think these might finish 4th at least. Southampton, I really do. The team is incredible for this division. And like I'm saying, even when Will still got sacked and the performances weren't that good, or the results weren't that good, the performances were, and they're not that far off clicking, and something like this being a very consistent thing, where they're scoring a lot more goals and they're getting more wins in a row. I think, honestly, by close at January transfer window, if these aren't top 6, I'll be very surprised. Charlton, 2 losses in a row, it just shows what a league it is at minute, because Charlton were top 6 2 minutes ago, and then 2 games after you sat bottom half. It's still a really good start, and they will be fine, Charlton. But I think realism's starting to set in for a lot of different teams now. Like ones that have started really good and had a lightning start, I do think we will see slowly. And that's across every league, because there's a lot of smaller, lesser expected teams that are at top of a lot of the divisions all the way through pyramid anyway. And I think they will all start sliding down and finding the rightful place quite soon. Same as other way around, because I think Southampton, Birmingham, Ipswich will all finish top 6. So these are a really, really good team, and they showed it in this half, because I don't think they'll get another result out of this all season, Charlton. I'm surprised with that one, but I don't see them being a team that concedes loads or gets battered on reg. Coventry 3, West Brom 2. If this doesn't sum up both of these teams, I really don't know what will. Hegebo scored 2 nice goals, and they were 2-0 up at half an hour mark. Then Eccles scored in 41st minute. Second half to come out. Malumbi, I can't actually remember the second one. The first one was a yellow card. I remember that because he went in on somebody for no reason. I think he went in on Mason Clark being a bit daft because somebody gave one of his boys a kick before. So that were a bit stupid in first half. But I don't remember the second one, but I'm sure off the top of my head, I didn't think it were one. But I can't remember now anyway. But regardless, 10 minutes after you're looking at it and you're 3-2 down. And that is just Coventry to a T. That was a really good finish from Torp. He's really kicked on this season. On surface of it, Coventry did look better side, but I think that's quite flawed with red card as well, that majority at second half Coventry were just slapping him up. First half, and game in general up until red card, because I was watching this in pub, this was quite an even game. And Coventry, for all the greatness that they're doing this season and how much better they are than everybody, the last few weeks, I know that they're still winning all the time, but last few weeks they've been given a game. Sheff Utd didn't want, they lost away at Wrexham obviously. Watford had a lot of chances against them. The Stoke game were a proper 0-0 until the last minute. And then this looked an even game until red card. It's not the same as Coventry at start of the year, just battering everybody in every regard. And it is still a case that they're winning all the time, and that is the signs obviously of a very good side that is going to get promoted, which Coventry are going to. It'd honestly take a miracle or a disaster even for Coventry to not get promoted this season. They are miles better than everybody. But it shows how good they are as well, that they don't have to be absolutely electric to win. 4 wins in the last 5 games. Well, look at that, mate. You don't even need to say anything. There's no analysis needed. If your results look like that and it's just a green every week, what's the point in sitting here speaking about them? It's pointless. Because regardless of what, like, you might try and nitpick certain things and say, oh, but damn, flanks could get this and this. Mate, they're better than everybody. They win every week. End of. West Brom, though, I think Mason quite quickly will be gone. I'm not going to lie. Where are they now? I'm going to get it up. They're in 17th with -3 goal difference. And yes, 17th is also only 4 points off playoffs with a side that's been awful so far. Truly horrendous. Like I'm saying, first half, I thought that's probably one of the best I've seen West Brom all season, honestly, in first half, because they really held their own against best side of division. Second half, they weren't out by red card, and I guess I can't really go at Mason for that. But across the full thing so far, I've been so unimpressed and uninspired by West Brom's side that should get you off your seat and think, God, these are a proper threat this season. And they're just not. And it's a real chance for anybody to get promoted because the league's as tight as it is apart from these boys at top. So when you are someone like West Brom and you expect to be up there, it hurts even more when you're this shit. I really do think soon they've got to bite bullet and get rid of him because he's never been a manager. Birmingham 4, Norwich 1. That new ground, you know what, less said the better. Absolutely battered. Start to finish, a crazy amount of expected goals. I think Stansfield has really turned it on in the last few weeks. Like, obviously he knows his best 11 now, Davis, and he's playing more or less the same team constantly now, which is right and the proper thing to do. Even though they've got a huge squad, you've got to pick your best 11 and just run with it and let them get used to each other. And then you're going to see results like this, where on a regular basis, they are scoring boatloads of goals. Birmingham are one of the best teams in this league, hands down. They will 100% finish top 6. I'm absolutely convinced these are a playoff side at least. And you know one man who's really impressed me, because I watched extended ones of this. I know I only watched like 3 minutes highlights of most of them, but I watched the extended ones of this game. This fella is insane. This duck bloke, his movement and his timings, you can tell that he's played at a much higher level than Norwich at home throughout his career. He come from Bundesliga, didn't he? And I think he scored like 15 goals. In fact, I'll look now. Yeah, he come from Bundesliga last season where he scored 20 in second Bundesliga. Well, he's an absolute bagsman in what is equivalent to probably bottom half at Championship, second Bundesliga. Like loads and loads of goals. Goes up to Bundesliga, double figures, 8 that year. For Werder Bremen, who aren't like, they're not one of the big dogs, they're like a mid-table Bundesliga side, and he's just getting goals constantly. Mate, I know they're his first 2 goals, but I really do like this man. I think it's a bit of a cop-out sometimes when people look at shit strikers and say, yeah, but they make other people look better, or they bring other people into play, but then you put them through one-on-one and they miss. Like one of them. It's like there are players out there that can do a bit of everything, and I think Birmingham have got one here. It makes everybody else look good. His movement's perfect. Like the spatial awareness to like go to back post so Stansfield can run front or vice versa. They work really well off each other. He's a really good striker, that lad. But Norwich are showing a little bit more going forward than they were under Manning, and you've just got to hope that Philip Clement can pull some magic and really get him out of some trouble quite quickly. I don't know what the fixtures are coming up, but in fact we'll look at it in a sec. But you're now 5 points off Oxford. A little bit worrying. And what's even more worrying is that you're 8 points off Swansea. Because realistically, we all know Sheff Utd are going to get out now. So you've got to find 2 above you. Not just one. They've got to find 2 teams above them that they can get in front of. And you're looking at 8 points up to Swansea. Norwich and Bobby, you know. Ooh, I was so close to greatness there. I went Desmond on this and it finished Derby 2, Watford 3. For an 88th minute Kayembe goal. Who scored 2. Loser and assist again. I don't think there'll ever be a game that goes by where this guy doesn't do something incredible. Even though it were only a corner, I think. But still, point stands. You've got to put him on somebody's head, haven't you? It's a really good cross, that. See, I didn't expect to see this. I've just clicked on stats thing. And I thought this looked quite an even game from what highlights showed. Watford were putting it on him in second half, definitely. But it did look like quite an even game. So I'm surprised to see that Watford did look quite heavily the better side, to be honest, away at Derby. Watford have been really good, to be fair, last few weeks. Since Garcia's come in, they've been playing a lot better. Some of the better players are coming back. They've obviously got Loser. The squad depth's quite good. I think he's just making it quite simple now in terms of get ball to these wingers, these like absolutely lightning fast wingers that we've got, and some of the lads that they've got off bench, Watford, and just put it in box for someone like this, because that was a really good finish from this. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. From that fellow up front. Quite a mountain. But he's ticky with his feet and all. This bloke is a good player, him. But on surface, a bit looking at stats, it looked like a deserved Watford win. I didn't think highlights showed that, but stats do. Leicester and Stoke. I mean, I've got to say I'm quite surprised by this as well. Stoke did look better team from the bits that I've seen. Obviously, the stats, what people are saying generally anyway. Apparently, Stoke were the better side, but that means absolutely no when you've lost game. Navidid is just an absolute freak. He's so good. It's crazy. It made me realise, when I watched the highlights of this one, I was sat thinking, in the last couple of years, you know, since like post-COVID is an easier time span to look at this, has there ever been players this good in Championship ever? And I know you've got your freakish examples like Mitrovic when he was here and stuff like that, but across the board, there are so many good players in Championship that why is Mavididi sat here? He should not be in this league. He's incredible. That weren't bad from Daka, to be fair. A little dink when he got sent through. Like from Fatuwu as well, another one that's just ridiculous. But Leicester do look like they've pulled faster on him. And again, needed. 2 good wins in a row for Leicester. But they're all close as well. And that don't really fill me with loads of confidence. And that's why I think they've got so many draws. Which is a positive for some teams. Like when Derby were down at bottom, they had a lot of results like this. 1-1s, and when they were losing it were by 1 goal. And you're thinking, when you're down at bottom, you want to be in games so that you know eventually it'll click and you'll start pulling away quite quickly. Leicester, when you're a side that's currently 10th in league, like Leicester are, and you've got the expectation to be top 6, these games are no good to you. You don't want to be scraping by teams. Leicester should be putting foot on everybody's neck every week and thinking, well, just going to batter you. Like Birmingham are doing at home games recently, like Coventry do, like Southampton have done the last couple of weeks. Sides that are better with better players, you expect to win comfortably on a consistent basis, and Leicester don't. It's 2 really good wins here, and I weren't expecting them to slap someone like Stoke up. That's not what I'm saying. But in some of the other games that they've lost or drawn, you expect a lot more from Leicester. And I want to see more consistency from them. Because it's a piss easy league, really, for someone like this. They should be in there. Stoke, 2 losses in a row. Slightly concerning, but they are to 2 of the top sides. I know I've just said all that about Leicester, but you expect them to be up there. And then the other one at home to Cov, who I think they played really well against for the most part. And I think they're playing better side here against Leicester. So that's a good thing. Even though you're losing, and every team is going to lose games, you're not far off. And I truly do think Stoke have got a real crack at this. I think these are maybe a bit of an outside shot for there if Birmingham and Ipswich and Southampton continue to underperform. Oxford 1, Middlesbrough 1. Oh, I know one that I was quite close at. Whittaker, he took that well, to be fair, and he nearly scored an absolute thunder bastard late on. Oxford worked that one quite well for the first half goal. Middlesbrough better side, as you'd expect. I want to sit here and be impressed by Oxford, but they are not winning enough games. And that is a real concern of mine when you're looking at Wednesday, we're gone anyway. Norwich look quite poor, but Sheff United are going to get out of this. And I'm really starting to think that Oxford are one that could be in a slight bit of bother. Because they're just not winning enough. And it's alright playing okay and getting draws and stuff like that. Like, their own form is okay. It's okay. But there are not enough wins. There's not loads of losses, to be fair. Lost to Portsmouth, Sheff United and Stoke in league, and that's it. But there's too many draws, especially when you crap away. There's way too many draws there for a side that needs to get wins. I don't think it's bad for Middlesbrough, to be fair, and I expect him to announce someone permanently. In fact, there's midweekers in there. We're doing predictions tomorrow, by the way. But there's midweekers, so maybe not by tomorrow. But for this weekend, surely, next couple of games, Middlesbrough have got to have somebody in. But if they can keep trotting through like this, like the one obviously against Birmingham in first game since Rob Edwards left, and then they've got a point here. Not bad at all. If they can keep chipping away, getting points away and winning at home until they get a new man in, that is absolutely perfect. But Oxford, I'm scared. I'm scared for you boys. And I want you to stay up, especially if Barnsley go up, because then we can finish above you next year. Pompey 3, Millwall 1. Didn't see that one either, which is why I should have seen it coming, really. Jordan Williams, ex-Barnsley boy, that were a really nice finish late on. Joe Bryan, this is going to sound a little bit crazy, but I don't think that's a red card. I know he's come at him quite hard, but he's not high up his leg. He's just like gone at him at a bit of pace and took his ankle out. He's not last man either, because there's loads of boys running back. I think that's a nice red card, but regardless, Portsmouth definitely deserved win. They did look better side by some margin. Some really good goals as well. Still slightly concerning to me that Bishop and Murphy and Chaplin and these boys aren't in with goals, the players that you expect to be. But they're getting some decent ones from other areas at pitch at least now. Millwall just pissed me off, so I'm just going to stop speaking about them. But Portsmouth, that's a really important win to give him 4 points breathing room. But again, I'm just going to keep being negative to a side that can do better, because I expect more from Pompey. A bit more consistency, please, and you will pull away from this and be fine. But until you do that, until you do find some more consistency, and until your strikers and your wingers start scoring some goals, I'm just going to be, in the back of my mind, worrying about Pompey. QPR 3-0-2. Oh, so close again. Oh, my God. I'll tell you what. The knowledge, man. I can see games that have got goals in them from a mile off. And this were obviously going to be one just because of roll. Gellert is an absolute baller. I think, honestly, Leeds have got to keep him in summer. If Leeds sell him to Hull, you're just idiots. Because when you come down Leeds, why not have a striker like this that's doing it for fun for Hull anyway? Plop him straight in your team. You're going to get 15 goals easy. That were a funny goal and all, because he is not meant to score that goal like he has done. It's a proper centre-back's finish. It's just hit it. It's come towards him at pace, and he just thought, I'll just swing my leg at this. Just absolute swirling dinker into top bins. Never in a million years is he meant to do that. But you take him, Kone and Barella on pitch at the same time, and Chair and Dembele. That's serious. That is a really serious front four for QPR. Defensively, definitely issues, but Hull score loads of goals anyway, and they're a proper decent side going forward. But QPR, better side, that is something that I do think is the only negative that I can pick out with Hull. But also, there's almost no losing rule this season, because no one expected anything of them anyway. And if they sit back and just, like, woe me type of thing, oh my God, we can't make any signings, all this, where, like chuffing, like some other side in Yorkshire that we know. If they just sit back all, they'll get tonked most weeks. But I really like the style of play that they're going for. They're chubbing loads of men forward. And if this is how their season goes, there's a 3-2 and a 4-1 and 2-2s, loads of goals in loads of different games. That is exactly what they'll need to do to succeed this season. That's exactly what they need to do. And it's the only thing they can do if they want to succeed. If they sit back, they'll get pummeled. They've got to go toe-to-toe with everybody and just think, I'm going to outscore you today, because the defence isn't good enough to warrant sitting back. I don't think the midfield's even that cracking. A lot of Hull's better players, and all their firepower is at top end of pitch, so use it. And you are going to get games like this where you lose and you concede a lot of goals, and the goal difference is going to be hilarious at the end of this. But these are a proper side, and I really like Hull this season. QPR, good win, needed as well, because slightly worrying last few weeks, but it's another one that I don't think has really got enough to propel him sending into any sort of conversation up here. But impressive win that against an Hull side that's bang on for a minute. And then Wednesday nil, Sheff United 3. I mean, obviously you can see at bottom of the screen, I thought Wednesday would win. I wanted Wednesday to win, because I know that they're going down anyway, because they're awful. I just thought, surely to God, Wednesday can get up for 2 games all season, and it'd be this. Surely. They can play at Steel City Derby in League 1 next season, because you know damn well that you're not going to be playing it in Championship. So your only job is drag these boys down with you. And Wednesday are absolutely fucking useless at everything. They're awful. And I'm not going to hear anybody going, but what do you expect? We're in admin. Oh my God, we're playing all these kids. Your average age of that starting 11 is about 28. These are not children. These are seasoned veteran pros that are all shit. You cannot truly sit there and tell me that this is a money problem, the 11 that you've got. There is probably like 4,000 games in this team. Ugbo and Lowe as a front two. I know for a fact Ugbo is on 20 plus grand a week. That is not Chansiri not giving you money. That is you. Whoever the recruitment team is at Wednesday, they are literally thanking the lucky stars that Chansiri existed, because they are the worst people at their job I've ever seen in my life. To give Ugbo the contract that he's on, I am better than Ugbo, and I've got one leg. I've never once seen this fella turn up for this game, ever. Like, he's alright playing most games when teams are going to give him all ball and he can just sit back and ping balls from halfway line. But when going gets tough, Wurzel Gummidge nowhere to be seen. And even though we all know the shit Wednesday, like, we know the shit. It's not a kid's thing. The recruitment's awful. These players that they have got on big contracts are wank. They are awful footballers. We know that. But I thought surely they can get up for it. Crowd's going to be up for it. This game, everything about it. And there were no effort from them at all. They didn't look like they were trying. They didn't look like they were asked. They honestly look like players that, and I don't blame them in all fairness, they look like players that are just happy to come and pick up a wage. And when they've not been getting it for weeks, I don't blame them. But they got absolutely slapped, start to finish. And that had potential to be, I think that could have easily been this fixture's biggest scoreline in history. Easily. Because Wednesday are awful. Especially late on. They just weren't even trying. That midfield's a disgrace, like, honestly. Because you see Sheff United run through, they're already 2-0 up at this point. I'm referencing like late on in second half. Probably around here before they scored second one. Once Bamford come on, for the last 25 minutes, Sheff United had shoved 6 men forward and you'd see 2 Wednesday boys tracking back. That's Sheff United's fault for not being clinical enough. And they are shit as well. This don't mean the Sheff United are good. They're awful. But there's no effort from Wednesday. At least you're getting that from Sheff United. A side that's really poor. And that is something that Wilder can give you, especially in this fixture. You know that you're going to run through brick walls for that fella if you're a Sheff United player. And Sheff Wednesday just have not got that. There's no effort. There's no quality. These are League 2 fodder. And to be fair, I think Sheff United are League 1 fodder and all. I think a lot of League 1 sides would give these a game. But a really good win. It's the only thing that matters this in it. But they definitely deserved it. A better side start to finish. I'm just disappointed that this didn't come out and it were 8-0. Because it should have been. And then finally into Ipswich versus Wrexham. Nobody cares because it was 0-0. But an absolute ball fest by sound. And then one last look at table. We are looking at Wednesday and Sheff United still in the bottom 3. I think if Wednesday get to double figures of points, I'll be genuinely very impressed. Norwich, I'm really starting to worry about you. But with new manager, who knows? Next couple of fixtures are really important for you. Sheff United, really big win obviously in Steel City. But they are still tossed and that's not going to change. And then Oxford, Swansea, Portsmouth, Blackburn. I think your sides that are probably in this sort of fate down at bottom. Even though Blackburn have won 4 in 5, I still think they are one of the sides that you're looking at and thinking, could they be dragged into it? But Ismail's a very good manager. Moving up table, big win for Southampton, who will look the part now. And I think Birmingham and Ipswich, it's only a matter of time till they get in top 6 and stay there. But still, every week that goes by, we're still looking at same sort of teams that are in and around it, even when they're not picking up wins when they should. You're looking at Hull, Preston, Bristol City and Stoke, still in top 6. With Middlesbrough still in second, and Coventry will not get off that pedestal for the rest of the season. Best side in league by some margin, and your definite title winners. That's that. Absolute pleasure. Love you all. Kiss. Make sure you like, subscribe if you do enjoy. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in a bit. Goodbye.
I say I'm a man. Yes, I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us bit it.